Well, good morning, lovers of budget cars and bikes. Welcome back to the Blue Review, Matt, and something else for the weekend, as it were. We are going to be taking a look at a car infotainment system from LAMTTO. This is the RC35. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know we did one of these for a motorcycle, a LAMTTO 26, RC26, I think it was. I'll stick a link in up here in the top right as well. We did that about a year ago. A lovely little system, more on the budget end. We strapped it to the bike, took it out, showed you how it works, all that kind of good stuff, and it was quite impressive. Now, LAMTTO have reached out to us based on that kind of review and asked us if we'd like to do a car one this time. I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do a nice comparison. So they've sent out the RC35. It is, as you can see down the sides here, a touchscreen. It's got maps, I'm assuming Google Maps, by the looks of the little symbol here. We've got online videos. I'm not sure how that works. You'd probably have to set up a hotspot through your phone if you were going to use it in the car. Music, obviously, voice assistance, easy installation. Well, we'll find out about that. We've got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and we've got a high D reversing camera. Now, we've done a few of these, as you may know, and what they've done in the past is giving you a little camera on the back of the unit, which faces forward, and then they give you a rear camera as well. So you've basically got a dash cam system. It looks like here they're just giving you the reversing camera, but we'll get this box open in a second, and we'll go through what's inside. Let's have a little look around the box first, though. So pretty much the same information there. There's the model, the RC35. And there's a little bit of gump there which you can read through if you really want to. 1 second wake up, quick resume from sleep mode. Okay, thanks for that. That's pretty much all we've got on that side. And on this side, we've just basically got the same sort of information, some more technical stuff here. We've got dual band Wi-Fi, which is always nice to see. Bluetooth 5, which again is great. We've got support for iPhones with iOS 10 and above, and support for Android phones with Android 11 and above. That's pretty much the only useful information there for me. And that's pretty much it, guys, when it comes to what's on the outside of the box, telling you about what's inside the box. Talking of what's inside the box, let's do the intro and get this bad boy open up. Okay, well, that's the box open. I didn't show you that because it seemed kind of pointless. Massive screen. That's got to be a 10-inch screen. What I'll do, guys, is what I usually do when there's a lot of stuff to kind of swallow in, as it were. I'll put all the specs and dimensions, etc., down the side of here or somewhere here. That way you can just pause the video and check it out for yourselves. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day with me just talking about the specs, so it's just easier to put it down here. And then, as I said, you can pause it and have a little look. But that, to me, looks like a 10-inch screen. We'll get that unwrapped and have a look in a minute. Inside the box itself, we've got just a little divider here. The thing to remember about the LAMTTO stuff is, all due respect to them, but they are a budget brand from my experience. It's not like the in-off stuff. That looks to be the rear view camera. It's just a little kind of a box section there, as you can see, just in there, with a massive cable, so that will obviously run from the unit to the back of the car. Nice and small, that, though. I'm assuming that will be waterproof. I'll stick it in the top left if it isn't, but I'm assuming it is, so you could stick it on the number plate, on the boot lid, something like that, or you can have it inside. There's our charging port, or our power port, shall I say. It's just a cigarette lighter affair there, and that cable will just pop straight into the back. We've got a little trim removal tool there, another connector which will become obvious in a second, and a second, I imagine, adhesion pad there, because normally they come with one on the bottom. In fact, I can show you just there, it has one, and there's your spare. There's the mounting bracket that'll stick onto your dashboard or your windscreen, and you connect the unit onto there. And it looks like we've got a soft mat as well here, just to put onto the dash. We'll see what that does in a minute. And a little pamphlet-y type thing here, a quick start guide. It looks like there you've got a QR code for some instructions as well. It's not what you might call massively concise, this one, but it will do. Hopefully by the time you've finished watching this video, you'll know exactly how to fit this and how everything works anyway, so we can just file that away for a minute. Right, let's have a look at the start of the show. And there it is, guys. That is the screen there. Some more info on the front there. That's obviously just a screen protector. We'll get that off at some point. On the back of the unit, not very much to see. There is your bracket there. That does swivel backwards and forwards, but very, very limited. If I can just undo that a second, you'll see it just moves from there to there. So not much play. So depending on your dashboard, that might be a slight problem, but then we do have the arm as well, don't we? We have this kind of affair here, so you could angle that slightly different using this, I'm assuming, because by the looks of things, that can fit straight onto your dashboard there, as it were, to stick it on and have done with it. The connector to the unit is down the side here, so effectively you'd have that on your dashboard there with a wire coming out down to the cigarette lighter. So that's not too bad, because sometimes they do have them coming up from the top, which can be very, very ugly. I would have much preferred to see it come out from the bottom, if I'm honest, but there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of room here. If it's on a right angle connector, which I believe it was actually the connector I saw just now, they could have put it in the bottom. I much prefer that, just to kind of clean things up a little bit. But I'm not unhappy that it's at the side, and as I said, you can stick it on the dashboard there, or you've got this window kind of windscreen mount here as well, which that will, as you can see there's a little connector there, that will fit inside there. So you take this mount off if you didn't want to have it on your dash, as it were, and you'd connect this mount to where that was, and then obviously you've got a much bigger range of motion there, where you're going to be able to angle that towards you, away from you, up, down, etc, etc. So that's good to see. You've got a double option, as it were, on how to mount it, because as I said, when I first saw that, I thought, well, how are you going to tilt that? It only tilts like 2 degrees, but yeah, with that you can put it where you like, can't you? Brilliant. Okay, well, I don't think there's very much else I can show you. I'm not sure it's got any internal battery, so we'll try to turn it on, because I do believe I saw a power button just up here. I'd be surprised if it's got an internal battery, but we'll find out. We'll stick the button on and see if anything happens. Again, I would have been surprised. It needs external power. That's fine, that's not a problem. We've had a very good look at the internals, as it were, what's in the box, and some impressive stuff in there, I've got to say. I love to see the rear view camera. Great to see a double kind of mounting system, which is really, really useful. A couple of adhesion pads, trim tool, all the stuff you would expect, and of course this bad boy here, which again, I'm assuming is 10 inches, something like that. Right, that's what's in the box, guys. That's what we're going to be fitting today. So we're going to go out to the Nissan Qashqai, as usual. We're going to fit this up. I'll show you pretty much it in situ. It's going to be a soft install. I'm not going to fit it in as a permanent kind of thing, but I'm going to show you how it looks in the car. We'll go through all the menus. I will show you some reverse footage as well from the rear view camera. We'll get that set up. We'll have a look at the Google Maps, the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto systems, the music setup, all that kind of good stuff. We'll go through all the menus in the car. But that's it for the unboxing and first look. So I better get my arse in gear, get out to the car and show you exactly what this thing can do. Okay then, guys, here we are in the Nissan Qashqai. I've had to put the screen using the kind of sucker mount, as you can see there, as opposed to on the dash itself, because we've already got one there, and for the life of me, I've never been able to get that off. It's really weird. It's a phone mount, and I put it on one day because I needed to go somewhere quite far away, and I've never been able to get it off again since. But obviously that wouldn't be an issue for you. I would suggest that would probably go down quite some way without this in the way. Obviously that would make more sense. We've powered it on. I've connected the camera to the rear. I might have to adjust that slightly though, because I put it on the inside of the window. I'll show you that in a sec. And this is the first menu we are greeted with, so bear with me. I'm going to need to take this screen protector off and we'll have a little look through the menus. I'm hoping you can see that, guys. That is an incredibly bright and clear screen there as well. It looks to be a full high D. It really is better than I could possibly kind of explain here. Now we're going to have to go through here and find the UK. Thankfully that's not too difficult. The touch sensitivity is brilliant. You can also have it to the left or the right, i.e. if you're driving in a country where you drive on the left, you have it on the left, and vice versa, obviously. We are going to go for this one over here. Yeah, yada yada, usual kind of stuff. And here we are looking at the home screen effectively from here on in with all the apps. As you can see, we've got TikTok, Netflix, YouTube Music, VLC player, and that's about it really. I think Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well, which I will show you in a second. We've got the settings. I'm going to see if I can get this screen slightly brighter. We're going to have to connect to the Wi-Fi as well, so just bear with me. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense because I want you all the way up here. Thank you very much for these purposes. You'll notice this little widget here as well moves around. If you just press that, that gives you basically a shortcut screen. You can turn it off, go to home, turn the volume up and down, return, brightness, etc. So we'll just press the home button. That should take us back here. You can obviously move this about as you wish. There's a couple more in here actually, Superlink, which I think is basically phone mirroring effectively. Let's have a look and see what's going on with the reverse camera for a second, because, oh, well, there we are then. Yeah, it does work in the rear view mirror, in the rear screen, as it were. I've literally just put it, if I just show you for a second now, for today's purposes, I've popped it just in the back screen there with a bit of 3M tape behind me, behind my dash cam, as it were. So when you close the lid, it's just there. You can obviously have it on the outside. You could put it underneath here or something if you prefer. I am going to have to try to rush through this today because it is a hot one. It's about 35 degrees today, so yeah. Anyway, that's the rear view camera. The quality's not brilliant, I'll be honest, guys. Yeah, it's useful to have, as you can see there. It could be set up slightly better as well. I just put it up there for demonstration purposes, but it's nice to have it, but I think the camera lens could be a lot better. I'm not overly impressed with that quality, if I'm honest, but again, it's nice to have it. Right, let's connect up to the Wi-Fi and go from there. Okay, I've connected up the Wi-Fi. I want to have a quick look at the Android Auto functions over here. That looks to be quite easy, doesn't it? Really, it's kind of explained there. You've got CarPlay, you've got Android Auto, you've got AirPlay, which I'm not familiar with, so we'll go for Android Auto, see what that tells us. It basically says download the latest Android application on your phone and look out for the T88. So I'm going to have to open that up on my phone while we just pause this video a second, guys. So after we've connected via Bluetooth straight into the Android Auto, you will see here the usual kind of stuff connected to Dan's S25. So once you're connected in, guys, as you can see, there is the usual stuff. It's effectively a mirror of your phone, isn't it? Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. We've got our phone book over here, which will basically show us all this. I get a lot of suspected spam, as you can see over there. This is our music player here. We won't talk about that too much. And we've got our Google Maps, of course, which is effectively what most of us use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for. Anyway, it's kind of, for me at least, it's music and navigation. That's pretty much all I use it for. Lovely big screen. Let's check the lag. Oh wow, that's really good actually compared to a lot of them. That's yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. We'll do the recenter, let it take us to where it thinks we are. And I wonder what we can do in settings here, because I do like slightly different. Yeah, that's what I prefer. Satellites. Satellite is not available offline, even though we're online. That's interesting because, as I said, we have got Wi-Fi enabled. So that's interesting. I'll see what I can find out about that. There's our volume button there as well. You can obviously mute it, and you can go up and down as you wish. So that is the Android Auto, effectively, for the RC35, working as you would expect it to. And yeah, very nice. Quite impressed. And obviously, once you've finished doing what you need to do, i.e. going where you need to go, you can just press the little widget and go straight back to the homepage. Just like that. Perfect. Gotta say, I'm really impressed with this screen, guys. And I'm not just saying that because they've sent this out to review. I hope by now you'll know that we don't do that. We don't tell you it's good if it's not, because I just don't really see the point. This is quite impressive, I have to say. It's smooth. There's seemingly no lag. The picture quality is amazing. There's a couple of things that I'm not impressed about, but I'll tell you about that when we get back inside the garage and close out the video. VLC player, we got to clean, obviously. Let's have a look at YouTube, see if it'll let us into there. Although that's, no, okay. It was a little bit slow, and I don't know what precondition is all about. I just want to go to the home page. I don't care about the history. Okay, well, if you really must insist on me doing that, I will do. Precondition check failed. I don't know what that's about, guys. Right, it wants us to sign in. I'm not really in the mood to sign into that, so we'll go out. We'll try Netflix just for giggles. And there's our Netflix logo, as you would expect to see. Again, a little bit slow to start that up. I think the processor could be just a tad better. It's not unusable by any means, but it could just be a little bit better for my mind. I mean, even the Netflix kind of startup is painfully slow. We've been trying to do this now for well over 10 seconds, which I would expect to be a little bit quicker than this, if I'm honest. I'll let you know how long this takes, though. Okay, well, to get into that menu, it's taken a good 20 seconds, which, okay. Let's see what we can find out in here. Right, again, it wants me to sign in. You know what Netflix is about, guys. You don't need me to show you Netflix, really, in that regard. We will press the home button again. It's basically just to show you that you can get into Netflix. I mean, you can get into TikTok. You've got to sign in with your own account. There's pointless me showing you my account, really, in that regard. It's just nice that it's there. The precondition on YouTube, I am assuming, is because we weren't signed in, and it's a Chinese Play. And now a lot of Chinese players, mobile phones, etc., they don't let you use Google and stuff like that. So it could be that that's what the precondition is. I'll try to find out and stick it in the top left corner if I can. All these things obviously take a little bit of practice and you get your head around it eventually, I'm sure, guys. So it looks like this little one down here is effectively to a direct kind of function straight into the navigation, which is nice to see. I have to say, I like that. And then obviously if we want to go home, we just press the home button there. Perfect. Not much else I can show you on here. There's an app store, system update. Again, this super link, I think it's just literally mirroring your phone, which is just like Android Auto. So I'm not quite sure why you'd need both, but it is there. And that's pretty much it, guys. If we press the home button, we are at home, so it's not going to go very far, is it? I don't think anything happens if we go back, because we're back as far as we can do. I got to say, I don't mind the wires as well. They've thought about this. This can be really easily tucked down the side of your trim here and into the cigarette lighter just down there, which also has a USB as well, which means you can charge your phone up as you're going along. Brilliant. Okay, that's about it for the RC35 from LAMTTO, guys. Not much else I can tell you, not much more I can show you in that regard. We've had a look at settings. I'll give you another look, because we didn't really go into too much of what's going on down here, but there's a little weird bit there that you can have a little look. Right, okay, that's all I can show you in demonstration purposes, guys. We will pop back inside the garage onto the blue review mat, and I will close out the video and give you my final thoughts. Okay then, guys, we are back in the shed on the blue review mat. As you can see, that has been an unboxing, quick test overview, as it were, of the LAMTTO RC35 smart screen system. It says car infotainment system, but we'll call it what it is. As you can see, guys, the infotainment system itself is really, really intuitive, so easy to use. Connecting Android Auto was a doddle. Opening up YouTube and Netflix was a doddle, as I'm assuming TikTok would be as well. I didn't open that, obviously, because I'm 90% sure it would have just done exactly as it did with YouTube and Netflix, whereby it wanted me to log in. At least it showed you that you can go into YouTube and Netflix without any kind of real drama and connect to the internet, etc. The only little issue is, as I suspected, being a Chinese unit, maybe it doesn't like Google. You might have to sign in and show it that you're in the UK or wherever you might be that allows Google. That's the only thing I can come up with, and it's the only thing that didn't seem to work that well. The connection on the back as well, when you change it over to the mount, the movable mount, that works really, really well as a sucker system on your windscreen, but the connections themselves seem a little bit flimsy. I'd be more tempted to use the flat plate mounting system on this, which we spoke about in the unboxing, than the kind of arm, as it were. I just think it would be a safer option. But I think for the money and what it does, it offers great value, actually. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge screen, probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, on the market right now at 11 inches. The quality of the screen, the panel itself, is really, really nice. I was so impressed with that. Not so impressed with the rear view camera. I thought it might be because there was still a lens protector on there, but I just checked, didn't have one. I think it's just a crappy sensor, basically. I mean, it's useful, it works, as you saw, but I would have liked to have seen something just a little bit better. I also forgot to mention there's a red wire that comes out of that rear camera cable as well. So if you wanted to connect it to the reversing light in your car to get a feed, then effectively every time you basically go into reverse, the camera would come on. You don't need to press the button. But to be quite honest, I don't think it's much of a chore just to press one button that says reverse camera, and it negates having to run another wire and connects it into the car's electrics, that kind of stuff. But if you're into all that, brilliant, it's there. It just means it connects straight away when you go into reverse. Everything else works as it should do. The system itself is, as I said, very, very smooth, no lag to talk about. I didn't encounter any problems, guys. So yes, I would highly recommend the RC35 from LAMTTO. I think it's a nice little kit. Link will be in the description as well down below. There will be an affiliate link. There will be a discount code. So if you use that, it'll probably be BCAB 10, 15, 20, something like that. Then obviously you'll get 10, 15, 20% off. So make sure you use the code to get extra discount, guys. If you like this video, or if you've got any questions at all, drop that in the comment section below. Give the video a like, a share, a thumbs up, all that good stuff. It really, really helps smaller channels like ours, guys. And it allows me to continue to do this kind of stuff. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will catch up in a couple of weeks, guys. As I said, I hope it's been of some use. Any questions, put it in the comments section. Link will be in the description. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Take care now.